So here we are on Murray Street West in Hamilton. What I'm showing you is a really nice project that a prominent developer has done a while back. Okay, the address is 50 Murray Street. And what he did, he converted an old school into condos. And he added 3 stories on top of the building. And created this wonderful condo. You can buy, it's not a rental property, you could buy a unit in this building. I wouldn't say they're expensive, but they're up there. I think for a 2-bedroom unit, it's around $650,000. Okay, and it comes with a parking spot. It's outdoor parking, which is nice as well. Sometimes it's not nice, but again, they're not going to build underground parking in an old building like this. Okay, obviously these lower level units, they don't have the nicest view, but it looks really nice from outside. They capped that door. They did these nice concrete steps at the front. Oh, and we have some indoor parking garages. So some of the units come with parking garages, which is really nice. Not all of the units have balconies. They have these sunrooms, these solariums that you see that would have been balconies. They have balcony doors in them. I don't know if you could see it in the camera. You could definitely not. I see them. And then you have some in the middle over there that have these balconies, these small balconies. So some of the units have them, some of them don't. But it's a really nice development here in downtown Hamilton. Every time I drive by, I really like to take a look at it. It gives inspiration into the projects that we're doing. Again, you can see it's a nice quiet street within a neighborhood. You got a nice little apartment complex right there at 55 Murray. And then just some homes around. Right in front of us is, I believe it's Bay Street. Bay Street or Queen Street. And as you can see, they started demolition, but that whole, it's about 11 acres of land, and it's a whole development that was supposed to happen, but it's for sale right now. And they've been trying to sell it for about 2 years now. I think the reason why they're selling it is because the city of Hamilton is very difficult to deal with. They have probably more red tape than the city of Toronto with regards to building. There's a project that was terminated by the developer, and he's a prominent Hamiltonian, very wealthy family. They basically had too much input on design, and that's something that the city of Hamilton or any city should not have any say on with regards to aesthetics. Okay, and because the city of Hamilton has too much input into what goes on and how people should build and develop their properties, a lot of developers are shying away from the city of Hamilton to build. So as you can see, it's called Tiffany Square at West Harbor. It was this big project that was supposed to happen. It's probably like 400 units. You had some commercial properties at the bottom. And you had these mid-rises, or low, I'd say these are low-rises. Okay. You had all this development that was supposed to happen 2 years ago, and it never did. Straight ahead we have the Harbor Front Park and the West Harbor GO Station. So this development is gold. They have 4 trains from Hamilton, from the James Street GO station, running every day to Toronto, and they have 2 trains every morning from the West Harbour GO station to Toronto every day. So they recently upped the amount of trains that leave Hamilton, because what we're noticing even now, just to make a quick comment on what's happening in Hamilton, is that there's an exodus from Toronto because of coronavirus. People are realizing they're paying way too much rent for working at home, and they say, why pay so much rent for 500 square feet when I can get a really nice 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom for maybe $1,000 less a month? And if I need to go to work, then I just commute. I take the train at, I think it runs at 5:30 in the morning and 6:30 in the morning from West Harbour. And then from the James Street GO, they have later times. And if you need to go down to Union Station, you're there by 8:30, the latest, and you go into work if you work downtown. And if you work closer, then obviously you're there earlier. But there's the option. No traffic. You don't have to think about the QEW or anything like that. Here we are back at 50 Murray Street West. Straight ahead, a walk away, is got myself a coffee at Synonym, which is, I think, one of the nicest artsy cafes. It's very like design forward. They were featured on Design magazine for their design inside. They use this really cool Italian marble as their counters, which is really expensive. I looked into it. Pretty freaking expensive per slab. But a lot of designers use those marble slabs. Here we are at one of the entrances to West Harbour GO station. You can see that they have 1 or 2 bus terminals. And right over there, just peeking over the trees, is 50 West Murray, which is really nice, right next to the GO stations, or GO station. And this corner property at the corner of Stewart and McNabb was supposed to be a development. And you know why it didn't go through? It's because the city of Hamilton sucks when it comes to new developments. I don't know what it is. Maybe they don't want the city to progress. But they were supposed to build a nice 11 stories. And I believe what I read online is that they say 11 stories is too tall. Can you believe that? 11 stories right next to a GO station where you can go downtown is too tall. They definitely obviously had design inputs as well. As I previously mentioned, they like tell people what to do aesthetically, which doesn't make any sense. There you go, it's all overgrown now. The developers probably said, I don't want to do it anymore. It takes too long. And here we have another corner property that also wants to be redeveloped. The owner is St. John Property, probably St. John Realty, and Durand Development Corporation. I don't know who those guys are, but they want to build 10 stories. So imagine, 10 stories on this nice plot of land, and then 11 stories across the street, right next to a West Harbour GO station. In my opinion, I think it's a great idea. This one's gonna have 77 units, and this one will have 89 units, totaling just around 160 units. That means 160 to about 300 people will be able to live in this small vicinity right beside James Street, where all the restaurants, cafes are located, and have money, probably Toronto money, to spend and boost Hamilton's economy. Why wouldn't the city want something like that to happen? I have no idea. Why wouldn't the city allow these buildings to go up in beautiful neighborhoods, these low-rise buildings, to help boost the city of Hamilton's economy? Everyone's leaving Toronto. No one wants to pay Toronto prices anymore. These condos are going to be for sale for a fraction of the price and very accessible to downtown Toronto. 1 hour train ride. Okay, so they make money in Toronto and they spend it in Hamilton. What more can you want? You don't even have to find employment for these people because they're employed by a different city and they spend it within the city. It's a great idea, but nope. The city of Hamilton is too, in my opinion, thick-headed, thick-skulled, thick-brained, whatever you want to call it. And they don't like progress. You know what they like? I think they like to keep the peace. Because a lot of people in Hamilton can't afford certain things. They're afraid of gentrification. They're afraid of change. You know what change brings? Change is always positive. Change brings money. Change brings new ideas, new businesses. Change brings progress. And if you want to live a stagnant city life, that's a city no one wants to live in the city, well, then the citizens of that city are going to remain in a shitty atmosphere, in my opinion. For the past 3 years that I've been working in Hamilton, there's been so much change, so many new businesses opening up, okay, because they see people that rent are now moving into the city. There's a lot of people like us who create these beautiful rental properties, okay, that aren't valued at $600 a month and bring dilapidated tenants or tenants that destroy the property or don't care about the property. They pay $1,500 a month and keep the property to a certain standard, okay? And if they're paying $1,500 a month, best believe they're making more money than the ones that are paying $600 a month. You know what that means? They spend that extra money as well at the cafes, at restaurants. Anyways, that's my rant.